This is a drive video that we did just the other day going through Calamayor. So we're starting here at Pepe's Corner. The difference with this video is that I've slowed it down, so it's actually at around about quarter speed, so you can see the chap who's walking across the pedestrian crossing is actually going very slowly. The reason I did this was because on previous drive videos it always seemed to be so fast as you're going through, even though for many of the places it's a 40 km/h speed limit, or even 30 in some places. So I thought I'd do a little experiment and just record the video so that it's at a much slower speed. It gives you a little bit more chance to look around and to see what's happening as we drive along. So this is, well, the video itself ends up being about nearly 15 minutes long. And we drive from Pepe's Corner, which is where we are now, and from Pepe's Corner we just turn left and go down into Calamayor. So if we turn right we'd be going into San Agustin, and we turn left we go into Calamayor. Right in front of us there's a pizzeria which many of you from the past will know, but sadly closed down a couple of years ago, and that's it. It's up for grabs if anyone wants to set up a pizzeria, or any other business I suppose there, or any other restaurant. So let's set off on our journey. The building on the right, the big glass fronted building, is the local medical centre. Again, to us that's a relatively new building. I suppose it's been there for quite a few years now. But it's a relatively new building and serves the people in this area as the medical centre that they go to see their doctors, the nurses, and for minor treatment. It's not a hospital as such, it's just a medical centre. But they will give you injections there, they will do blood extractions and small things. So as we set off down the hill into Calamayor, you'll perhaps start to get a feel that Calamayor, for as long as we've been on the island, is an area of Palma, because this comes under Palma. It's just a little bit neglected. You feel as though it really does need a bit of a facelift. It needs something doing to it to bring it up to the beauty of the rest of the island. Certainly the students who went to BIS, which is the first school that I taught at, Anita taught at, will be very familiar with the road that we're driving along at the moment. Pharmacy on the left. The jacaranda trees are coming out now. I'm sure Anita would want me to mention those. The Chinese restaurant on the corner on the left there was one we used to go to. Certainly we haven't been for quite a while. And just coming up on the right is the building where the Salvation Army used to be, and actually was the original, I think the original in Calamayor BIS school, Baleares International School, and there may have been one before that in Terreno. And the relatively new white buildings in front, sort of almost directly in front. So the apartments is where the old school was, but the buildings just coming up on the right now is where the school used to be as well. They had a house there, Villa Barraca, and that was the school, and the playground was down there. So we're coming down now, just going around the corner, around the bend here into Calamayor, and you can see lots of shops and bars on both sides. If you do want to speed this up, of course, there is, if you're watching, I'm sure there's a control on your video player that will actually speed it up, or you could even flick through it. It's just so that you can see different parts. You can see the colours of the trees now. I mentioned jacaranda, but I can't see any in this bit of the video. And the road that goes, we're coming up some traffic lights now, and there's a road that goes down to the right, and all to the right of us is where the beach is. And Calamayor does have a very nice beach. It's a big, wide, sandy beach, and is very, very popular because it's one of it's the closest big beach to this side of Palma. And so it's very popular. It's also popular with surfers because it seems to attract some quite good waves. Just looking on the left-hand side here at the graffiti, and it's one of the things that really does spoil Calamayor for me, is the amount of graffiti, and just the place feels a little bit neglected. I was going to use the word grubby, but I'm not sure that's a nice word to use. But anyway, the beach is very nice, and is very, very popular with the Palma locals. Directly in front of us, so we've got the big apartment building on the left, but directly in front there's a piece of what is now waste ground, but there used to be a crazy mini golf there. There used to be an outdoor discotheque there. It used to be quite a lively centre. I guess it still is a lively centre. It seems now to have a lot of Eastern European families living in the area, and you can tell that when you look at the shops, as many of the shops are clearly have things which are for sale, which are from Bulgaria or for Bulgarians or different Eastern European countries. So we set off again. Traffic lights here are a crossing, but it also allows people to go up to the left, which would take you onto the motorway and onto the ring road that goes around Palma. But we will follow the road around to the right. If we did turn right, we would go down to the beach, and there's a couple of hotels down there as well. Kebab restaurant there on the left, which we have in the past had kebabs from. It's quite a built-up area, and it is a place where lots of locals will live, who perhaps work in this area or even in Palma. It's a good bus route into Palma, with buses every 5 or 10 minutes, lots of buses along here. The red car there is going to turn left, and that will take him up to the motorway. We're carrying on just up and around. Lots more sort of bars and cafe type places here. There's a little shopping precinct there on the left hand side. And we're going up a slight incline now towards the hotel in front of us. This hotel in front of us is the Nixie Palace. It's been around for a very long time. It was closed for a number of years and just left, surprisingly, and then reopened and refurbished. And now it's one of the nicest hotels in the area, in an area that's not so nice, but it is a nice hotel, and overlooks the beach. So from the other side, we'll have fantastic views. It's a very nice hotel inside, and during the pandemic, it's where the footballers from Real Mallorca used to stay before a home match. So before a home match, they would stay in the hotel for the night, and then the coach would come to pick them up in the morning to take them off to the football ground. So on at least one occasion, Anita and I did come down to see the players off, because we weren't actually allowed to go and watch the football matches, so we couldn't actually go into the stadium, but we could actually get quite close to the footballers just by standing on the pavement here outside the hotel as they boarded their coaches that took them off to the ground. And then eventually they allowed us to go into bars, and we could go and watch them play in a bar that was attached to the stadium, and they'd be playing the football matches inside the stadium, but we couldn't actually go in. But the Nixie Palace, nice hotel. We just head on up the road here a little bit further, and you can see it's quite hilly on the left hand side, and that's all housing for people who live in the area. On the right hand side, you'll sort of see that, maybe just catch some of the villas that are on the right hand side, which have amazing views over the bay, so really nice views. Just going past lots of bins. We do have in Palma, anyway, lots and lots of rubbish bins, colour coded depending on what we're going to put into them, and certainly the general trash is emptied every day, 365 days a year. We have a really good service as far as collection of rubbish is concerned. And as we drive up here, this is obviously familiar territory for me, because this is where the school is that I taught at Slattery. Taught there for 10 years. That was Bellevue International College, and really good 10 years that we had in Bellevue. And yes, I do miss you, all the students and the teachers, of course. And on the left we've got the Bellevue International College, and my classroom or laboratory was on the top floor, so I had great views over this wall that's coming up on the right hand side. The wall on the right hand side is the wall that surrounds the Marivent Palace. The Marivent Palace is the King of Spain's summer residence, so coming up in the next month's time, I suppose, July time, the King of Spain and his family will usually come to the Marivent Palace, and we'll spend a few weeks on the island, and the Prime Minister comes and does his briefings with the King at the palace, and so we'll find that we get a lot of Guardia Civil, police officers, all around the area, and they station themselves particularly the next traffic lights, which is the main entrance to the Marivent Palace. So just at these traffic lights on the right hand side is the entrance to the Marivent Palace, which is open most of the year. Well, not the palace, but the gardens. So if you come to this part, you can go through the gate there, and you can have a wander around the gardens completely free of charge. Lots of shade, and it's very peaceful. So Anita and I have been there, and it's somewhere I think we need to go back to. So gardens are places I think you need to visit quite regularly, because, well, they change, don't they? As the season changes, the gardens change. We're coming towards the end of our little journey through Calamayor, and this area is called Marivent. We've got the petrol station on the left hand side, there's another petrol station on the right hand side, and a new car park. Unfortunately, it just seems a little bit too far away from the Paseo Maritimo. It was just too far to get to the part of the Paseo Maritimo where you actually wanted to be. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye for now.